J-Man. I am Jason, defender of geekdom. My true calling in life was revealed to me the day I had discovered YouTube. I have the power! I became J-Man, the most powerful geek in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. My friends Steven, Owen, and Sean. Together, we defend geekdom from the evil forces of social media. J-Man. Hey everybody, J-Man here, live in the Phantom Zone. We're going to be talking about some wrestling today. Of course, the women's division primarily. I'm sure we'll discuss other little things as they come up. So before we begin all of that, just a couple of quick show updates. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on the Action Elite. The link to the Action Elite's channel and website is in the description of this video and all other videos that I post. Owen runs the Action Elite. He's one of the people that shares my secret identity. And we're going to be talking about Air Force One, Harrison Ford Air Force One. The first time I saw that movie was just the other day. I've never seen it before. It kind of got leaked on the last stream that I never saw it before. Everyone said I was an idiot, that I need to watch this movie. So I watched it, and I'm going to give my thoughts, my breakdown using space on Owen's channel, The Action Elite, which is going to be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. So please come check that out. Owen is awesome. He's got a great channel. He does a lot of interviews with celebrities and stuff. TheActionElite.com is the website, and he covers all sorts of things. And I mean, he's got like Michael Jai White was on there. Dolph Lundgren has talked about it. Van Damme often retweets our videos and shares our stuff. So it's an awesome site. So that's Wednesday. Thursday night, Sean and I are going to be back in the Phantom Zone talking about 90s comics. I think we're on November release. Wow, November 1990, I think is what we're doing this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be a lot of fun going through all the releases. We're going to talk about some pulp stuff as well. I'm gearing up to do a pulp hero show. That's going to be really exciting. So we're looking forward to doing that. And Saturday, we're back in the Phantom Zone talking about all the latest stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff it's been revealed or leaked or whatever. That there was a lot of Zack Snyder bots or something on Twitter doing the hashtag Restore the Snyderverse. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss Ms. Marvel. We're going to discuss the upcoming She-Hulk. We're going to discuss, just the MCU, what's going on with it. We're going to discuss the DCEU, like what's going on with them. So that's all going to be on Saturday's edition of the Phantom Zone. Of course, every Saturday we do invite people from the chat to join us on the stream live to discuss stuff and give their opinions. Also, we are seeing Nope, Jordan Peele's new movie, on Monday. So we'll probably talk about that the week after. Okay, so let's get into today's topics, which of course is going to be the women of wrestling. Before I do that, I got to get my buddy in here to help me out.
Hey, Steve, man. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, all right, so we're getting ready. We already got a few people here with us. We got Arkham. How's it going, dude? I'm so behind on new comics. I've been reading these. I've been hooked on these pulp magazines. I just can't stop reading them now. It's insane. I did buy a lot of comics today though, because some Rob Liefeld stuff came out, which we're going to talk about later. Joe, what's going to find? Oh, Joe, nice. Joe. We love you. You're like one of our top guys on here. We need you on here to like sort through this. Oh, and Double C. He's another top guy on here that we. Yeah. You're like the two like celebrities that we have on here that know their business. So that's good. Nope, I guess it's a horror movie. I don't know. It's Jordan Peele. I like Jordan Peele. Man.
Yeah.
I didn't see Get Out in the theater. I thought it looked like shit, to be honest with you. I thought it was a shit movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know who saw it first. Was that you, Steve, or was that Sean? Sean saw it first. So Sean, for some reason, said, "Hey, I'm going to watch this." And he's like, "Oh, Jay, you got to watch this. This is really good." I'm like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "It's good." It's like, "Oh, okay." Then I watched it, I thought, "Damn, this is pretty good, right?" Like,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, "Okay, this is good." And then we saw Us in the
Us.
theater. All of us went. Did Sean go to that?
No.
Sean didn't go to that?
No, I don't
Well,
think
he's
so.
weird. He's the one who got us on this Jordan Peele thing and then didn't even show up to it. Okay, so only you and I went to go see Us.
Right.
I thought Us was awesome.
It was terrific.
I don't know. I bought it on 4K. I rewatched it again. I really liked it. And that's what's the girl? Lupita? No.
Lupita, yeah. I can't.
I can't remember her name. That's a fail.
Nyang, it's an apostrophe O at the end.
If anyone happens to know in the chat, give us her name. She is freaking like unbelievable.
Yeah, she's awesome
in that movie. I don't know if it went anywhere. It doesn't seem like. I think people still talk about Get Out more.
Yeah,
I thought Us was better. I thought Get Out was a good first movie, but I thought Us was like, whoa.
I agree. And Winston Duke was awesome as.
Oh my god, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Was he a Baku or no?
Yeah, he was a Baku.
I mean, what the hell? That guy's a great actor because the dad was such a goof. But then the evil version or the inverted, inverted. What was it called? The mirrored.
It's like the mirror. It's the not the inverted. I know.
Inverted is my thing from Dungeons and Dragons. Damn it! I can't. Tethered. The tethered version of him was friggin' cool.
Yeah.
And then he's in Baku. Who, that guy's a good actor too. So yeah, really good actors and unique stories. So I like Jordan Peele. I'm looking forward to Nope. I hope it stands up to the other ones. I didn't watch his Twilight Zone because why are you remaking Twilight Zone? That's stupid. I don't know why Jordan Peele did that. I know he likes Twilight Zone. I could tell by the writing and the quality of the movies that he's making. He's a Twilight Zone guy, but so am I, and I don't want it remade.
Yep.
You like Get Out? Yeah, Get Out is good. I liked Us better. If you've seen Us, I like that better. Okay. So let's get on with it. Get on with it. I need to get that. Oh, I'm going to clip that from Monty Python. Get on with it.
Yeah.
So today we're covering SmackDown for July 16th. That was just this Friday SmackDown, and last night's Raw, which is July 18th. Today is the 19th. So there's not a heck of a lot to talk about. There's really only four. I only have 4 bullet points.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot going on with the women's division.
Well, I got a bit more on that later, but anyhow, go ahead.
Yeah. So let's start with SmackDown. We had Liv on there. McAfee introduced her. She's supposed to be fighting. She's fighting Natalia. This match, and I'm looking at my notes here. It felt like it was some of it was taking place in slow motion.
Yeah.
Wasn't that weird? Like.
Yeah, it was literally like. I love Liv Morgan, and Liv Morgan is exceptionally over, especially.
Oh, she's over. Yeah,
she's very over. She tends to come across as slightly rehearsed in some of her matches. I mean, the way that she takes some hits is very odd to me. Like, especially a whip into the corner. Like, she sort of runs and she sort of stops and then she just turns and then she moves again. Right? It's hard to explain, but like when you see it, it's almost like she's wrestling underwater sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot. Man, they're pissed off at Shotzi.
I know.
Yeah, okay. Shotzi's a friggin' pro compared to there's a shit ton of botches on this one. A lot of weird moves, slow motion stuff. It's like you're like, yeah, you were waiting for that.
Yeah.
I like Liv and Natalia, so I don't want to beat them up because Liv's one of my favorites. So I don't want to beat them up, but we got to call it like we see it. And especially now with this whole thing with Shotzi and people saying, oh, she's trash and we got to fire her. It's like, okay, you're going to fire Liv, you're going to fire Natalia. Like
exactly. Natalia is one of the most gifted technical female wrestlers who ever lived. So yeah, it was just sometimes they just don't have good chemistry in the ring. And I don't feel like Natalia and Liv particularly have good chemistry. I think Natalia can carry anyone to a decent match, but it definitely felt like, however this was choreographed, however this was like blocked out, it just came across as clunky. is the word I was thinking when I was watching.
Clunky, yeah.
Very clunky.
Yeah, it's like they're wearing like ankle weights or something. Like it's just, I don't know.
And you're right, there was a lot of waiting. I was like, there was a couple times where I was like, oh boy, that's way too long.
I'll go get a bag of chips and come back, and then the move happens. It's
right. I mean, again, this is a match I think is better suited for an arena match as opposed to a TV match.
Right. This could have been one of the, house shows or something.
Yeah, it's one where I think the live crowd was okay with it, but like if you're watching on TV, you're like, oh boy, this is not good.
Oh yeah. I'm just like, whoa, this was not good.
No, it wasn't a good match.
But I like Liv and Natalya, so. Then we had Aaliyah versus Lacey, sort of. The "You Suck" chants, and then she had the what was it? The you gotta apologize, and then Lacey just walks out. It's like I really like Lacey Evans now. I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I think she's awesome. I'll have to find like a good Lacey Evans think type, because I don't have any of her stuff. But like, I don't know. I like her just saying, you guys all suck anyways. And I poured my heart out, and nah, nah, nah. She needs to change her line to saying I'm better than them.
Yeah. I because now you're not better than anyone. That's something a face would say.
Right.
Like that's something to humble face. Like, hey, I'm not better than anyone. But like, I don't know. There needs to be. I have a comment on Becky. That we'll get to. I really wonder if this way. Good question, Joe. That's something I think too. Like, it seems too much. Like, if you've ever, I equate wrestling to dance, and if you've ever been in dance, you always do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just like you're counting off steps and moves in your head, and I feel like she's doing that in the ring. She's like 1, 2, 3, 4, whip, and then turn 1, 2, 3, 4, move, and then like I'm like, it just doesn't look natural. It looks very rehearsed. I don't mind reversals in that, because in a real match there would be blocks and reversals, but it just seemed like she was a step behind. She seemed like very slow. I can't explain.
Yeah, it's like they're gonna go for a punch, and it's like waiting for it to be blocked.
Yeah.
It's like when we first started making movies, and
you
start to like, because I was in martial arts, and we did a lot of these martial arts flicks when we were kids, and we have stories and stuff. Some of them are on YouTube, but some of them are not on YouTube because one of our players doesn't want to be on YouTube. But anyways, and I remember before we'd shoot the movies, we would just like rehearse and do a whole bunch of stuff, and then it looked pretty good on the thing, and then we could edit it. When you're playing it live in the ring, you can't edit it. You can't edit it out and make it look fast. It just looks like you're like, oh, this was like bad.
Yeah.
And they're trying to call like, oh my God, it's like reversal. It's like more like reversal while she was waiting for it to be reversed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As for Lacey, I mean, she's walked out of 2 matches now. I hope she has another match before she retires. I like next week, because WWE has a bad habit of drawing this out. They either don't establish a storyline or they drag it out too freaking long.
Right.
I hope next week or this coming Friday, she has a match with Aaliyah and absolutely destroys her. I hope it's a squash match, because that's what you now have to do. Yeah. And if you don't do that, that's a freaking fail.
Yeah, they'll have to do something with her, because like they need to move this along. I'm trying to find something for Lacey, but it's all her old gimmick. I'm trying to find like a GIF or something, but it's all the old Southern Belle, which I've never seen. Don't know if this birthday that we wanted to put.
I agree. Yeah. She comes across like you're disrespecting me, and I guess it's because
They did disrespect her.
They did disrespect her. It is coming across as genuine. Her coming out as a good guy, I don't think she even believes in that anymore. I don't think the era of the wholesome face works anymore. People don't buy into it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you have to sort of that whole, you know, they did it worked with Sergeant Slaughter. He was on G.I. Joe, but like, remember Corporal Kirshner? That went nowhere.
Yeah.
And then when Slaughter came back, he was a heel. Right? He had that whole Iraqi sympathizer angle for a while.
I like Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. It's just this thing about the all-American hero, like Lex Luger, another example. He was, you know, he had the tassels and all that. Yes. I heard that double C.
For us, that doesn't really mean that much, right?
So there was a thing about Brock Lesnar. He swore during the whole thing when he beat the hell out of when he destroyed the Alpha Academy.
The Academy, yeah.
And the network okayed it. They knew he was going to do it. It wasn't like an off-the-cuff curse word. It was planned, and then they didn't have it. They censored it. And they were saying that was weird because it's supposed to be TV-14, what Double C said, but it's still coming across as PG. Like, you know, like, and to be honest with you, while I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of the Attitude Era, which puts me in the minority, I know. There were parts of the Attitude Era I really liked, but I didn't love the era as a whole. There's some remnants of the Attitude Era I think you have to keep in, or else people, like, as soon as people reach a certain age, you're not going to watch it anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, because I listen to a lot of just even talk about movies and such too. And again, with Return of the Jedi, depending on your age, you either thought the Ewoks were just garbage. Like, it was supposed to be the Wookiees.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be the Wookiees planet, and they were all going to team up. And then it's like, oh, it's like these teddy bears, and everyone's like, this is shit. Like, you know, like for me, I thought, oh, okay, I think they're awesome. I love the Ewoks. But other people are like, yeah, this is crap. You know, that's the conclusion we've been waiting for. So again, it's like you have to be aware of your audience and who, you know, what age was everybody in 77. Right. I always err on going slightly more like not adult, but a bit more like not silly. I would always pick seriousness versus silliness.
Right.
Right. That's the problem with Thor: Love and Thunder. That's the problem with most of these Marvel ones. They've gotten too silly. That's why I like Doctor Strange too. There's some horror elements. There's a couple of even scares for kids. Wanda's pretty crazy. She's got blood on her and stuff, and she like incinerates those people. So that's kind of cool. So even with wrestling, you don't want to go too crazy, but I'm okay with no blade jobs and all that anymore. Like I'm cool with that. But you got to keep it somewhat serious. Didn't you guys say I was
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard, but it's like they're trying to edge into it, but I don't think everyone got the memo. But that is the rumor, and I've heard it will be in a couple of months. What change that makes, I'll be very interested to see because, I mean, I've seen, like, you know, for instance, John Morrison come out and he's like, oh, Maurice has hippopotamus breath. And I'm like, who says that? Like, Roman Reigns is like suffering succotash. And I'm like, no, this is not a Looney Tunes. You're not Sylvester the Cat. You're Roman frigging Reigns. You're a big dude with tattoos. This is part of the reason why people turned on Roman Reigns as a face. Is because of that sort of thing. Like,
then you've got the Miz and that, and like I've got large balls. Like,
yeah, now he's coming out. It's like, I have massive balls. Like, hello, I have massive balls on his T-shirt. I'm like, okay, that's still not as funny as that guy. What his shirt was when he got his picture taken with Alexa Bliss, but I'm still like, okay, well, there you go. Like, again, listen to your audience, to what you said.
Yeah, they got it. They're just out of touch. I'm finding that everything's out of touch. Hey,
A little, yeah,
skeptic, what's going on, dude?
yeah.
I'm finding that everyone's out of touch, man. Nobody can read the room anymore.
No,
It's like, stop it. Like, stop
yeah.
doing this. I saw something about Disney, which we can cover on Saturday, where they're like, oh, they're thinking of changing up the formula of their Disney shows and stuff. It's like, oh, the formula of the first episode's not too bad, the second one is like okay, and then it just downhill till it becomes garbage. Why? That formula has been working perfectly because they're winning Emmy awards and getting nominations. So apparently that formula is fine. Make a first half decent episode, the second one is like somewhat okay, and then it's a slow decline into the dumpster fire that it is. And then after the dumpster fire, they say how great it is and it's the number one rated show of all time, and then it wins Emmys. Like Book of Boba Fett has been nominated. Moon Knight's been nominated for what? Most boring garbage I've ever. Like, anyway,
I can tell you that this is the first one I've heard in a while. The first show I watched, the last Disney show, were episode 5. I literally fast forwarded through.
right.
I kid you not. Funniest joke I heard was if the devil was go will be the happiest. Yeah. He does blade. He did blade a lot in AEW. Like I'm like, who's this guy? Ric Flair? Every picture I saw him in AEW, he was bloody. I'm like, why is he always bleeding? And now John Moxley, whenever I see him, he's got barbed wire or something. And he's always bloodied. John Moxley may potentially come back to WWE now that they're doing that, because I don't know. Like I've never been a blood guy. Sometimes it goes excessive, but I also I want there to be some sense of realism. This is the whole thing about wrestling. We know it's fake, but it's like a movie. You forget for 2 hours or 3 hours, right? And you're allowed that suspension of disbelief. Well, if guys don't bleed, are fighting and don't bleed, they don't do certain moves. I'm like, well, these two guys hate each other, but they're trying to protect each other in the ring. The storyline you're trying to sell me doesn't come off properly.
I rewatched. So we're on vacation this week, my wife and I, and we do nothing for vacation but read books and comics and watch movies. So we rewatched all 6 Thin Man movies. Nobody knows what those are. So they're old movies ranging from the early 30s to like the mid 40s. There's 6 films. They're detective stories about a husband and wife that solve cases. Anywho, I don't remember which one it was. I think it was like part 5 or something or whatever. They go to a wrestling event. So they go to a pro wrestling event and they're going in. And the guy's like, oh, it's going to be a great show tonight. And then and Nick, who's the main guy, Nick's like, he goes, oh, why? Did you see the rehearsal? And then they're at the match. And then they're leaving. And then his wife, Nora, goes up to the ring. And the guy's like, oh, like his arm's being twisted. And he's like, oh, right? And she's like, okay, well, we're going. Have a good evening. And he's like, oh, have a good evening. Oh. Like he stops, he breaks here. He's like, oh, take care, have a good night. Oh, I mean, that's like it was like 1940. This movie was like 1941 or something, right? And
right.
Like, even back then, they're like, yeah, we know this is just for fun, right?
Right.
But I mean, yeah, you got to keep up the illusion or whatever. I think with Lacey Evans, I follow her on Instagram and all that. I think Lacey Evans would have gotten a more over if this had been her character.
Yeah, I think she would have got a lot of cheers.
I just saw that. I was looking for some Lacey Evans overlays. I'm like, oh, there for you right there. Oh my god. I don't know what that is, but I won't address it on this one because we're talking. I want to keep it to wrestling. But I don't even know what that is. Okay, so that was it for SmackDown, man. Pretty disappointing SmackDown.
One match and one promo, basically.
Yeah, one kind of meh match and a promo. So that's so let's talk about Raw. Becky came out, so it's automatically great. No, and she's like the little engine or a little engine that good or whatever it was.
Did you catch the Fifth Element
reference? Yeah. Well, I don't know why. Was that Fifth Element? Because I've seen Fifth Element a few times, and what outfit was that from?
I think he was insinuating that looked kind of like the bandages. I'm assuming, or something like that. I don't recall. Maybe she wore an outfit after the bandages that looked like that. Maybe she did. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it, I think she had like the suspenders and the orange pants and stuff.
I'm going to say Fifth Element. Let's see. Becky Lynch, Fifth Element. I'm trying to find like the picture that shows that, like, I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, is it something that Mila wore? Because she only had like those two costumes.
She had the bandages, and then
she had the orange suspenders.
Yeah, I think that's what he was referring to.
Oh, that didn't look exactly like it to me.
No.
I didn't get that at all. I've seen Fifth Element a few times.
Yeah, it was a weird. I was just sitting there like, do you think that everyone who's watching this has seen the Fifth Element?
Yeah, I mean, and I saw it in the theater and a few times after that at home, and it didn't look like that didn't come to mind, but I could be wrong. She comes out, she talks. Carmella comes out there. Bianca comes out there. Oh, Bianca's like, this is my comeback story. There's like the manhandle slam is on there. Bianca's got the KOD. I mean, I don't even know what it was just like randomness.
Yeah, this was a pretty sporadic match. It wasn't as good as the match the previous week between the two of them. They had the extra stipulation that if Bianca got disqualified or she got counted out, she would lose the belt, which they played to a lot. Corey Graves is at his worst when Carmella is wrestling because he just turns into a full-born idiot, just yelling and stupidity. Becky is obviously, they keep putting her on commentator whenever she's not in a match, which is smart. She did do one thing though, and I'm thinking there's an opportunity for her. She sat there and she's like, oh, I was just going over to admire Becky's boots, which was funny.
That was super funny.
But then she's like, oh, that's the only impressive thing about her. I'm kind of like, where's the heel who's like, you're actually really good, and I got to figure out a way to beat you? Because it's a little bit fake to say, it's a little bit too far to say, oh, there's nothing impressive about Bianca.
Right.
I would prefer to like, yeah, Bianca's a great competitor. Don't worry, I'll figure out a way to get her, to put her shoulders on the mat. 1, 2, 3, I'll be the champ again.
Right.
Right? Like, just like sometimes it's a little bit too fake with the heels where it's like, oh, come on, this person's obviously good. The guy who actually was the best at selling the other wrestler as a threat was Triple H. When, like, Mick Foley talked about this in his book. He's like, when I came out as Cactus Jack, you would have thought I was the second coming. He's like, this guy is beating me every week as Mankind or whatever. But when I came out as Cactus Jack, he looked like he saw a ghost.
Right.
And Jim Ross would often say, Triple H looks like he's seen a ghost or whatever. Like, and he would sell it like, oh my God, like this man's going to murder me.
Right.
And then that's why he was the cerebral assassin. He would figure out a way. He was smart, so he would figure out a way. Right. I think Becky has a chance because she's like, I'm the smart ass and all. Like, I think she has the opportunity to do that. Don't go too far into the outlandish heel thing. Be smart about it. Right.
I mean, I do think it's funny. I mean, I like her comedy, like heel bit or whatever. But she'll do it. She'll do it sometimes for promos where she'll like list the accolades or whatever of it's like, Bianca, I know you've done this. I know that they did that with Paula Heyman. What was it, a couple of weeks ago or whatever when Brock Lesnar was on there and Paula Heyman's like, I know, Brock Lesnar, that you don't care about anything and you will just destroy it. It's like, I'm like, he's doing his promo for him, right? Which is smart, obviously, because Brock's not the best in talking, but I definitely get what they're trying to do there or whatever.
I mean, I like Becky. I don't mind this being a rematch of last time SummerSlam because they obviously can go back to the 26-second thing. I don't mind Carmella. Like, I think she's a good heel, but for the love of God, send Corey Graves somewhere else when she's wrestling. Just send him to her corner, take him off the thing. Let's not listen. And I'm almost like, he always tells Byron Saxton to shut up. And I'm like, when is Byron Saxton going to be like, don't tell me to shut up. I'll come over there and clean your ass. Like, when is that going to happen? Like, Corey Graves needs
someone. I don't like shut up. I like 7-Up.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that?
Yeah. Like, you need someone to go over there and threaten Corey Graves and scare the bejesus out of him because he's just a loudmouth idiot right now on commentary. I cannot stand him. Half the time, he's just like, someone belt this guy, seriously.
Don't even think about it, pal. Don't even think about it. Sit down.
That's what he's happen. It's like, don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it.
It's like, okay.
As far as the match went, like I said, it was done better last week. This was okay. But again, Bianca just got mad and KO'd her. I'm like, so all of the offense that Carmella threw at her didn't matter.
Yeah, I don't like that. They need to pump up Carmella. I got that now, then, or whatever. Then, now, when whatever.
Then, now, forever.
Forever, the women's evolution or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like Carmella has one of the spots.
Yeah.
Like, she's one of the sections, like highlights. And I'm like, well, because that's an older DVD. So she was considered one of the better ones at that time.
Oh yeah.
So they should do something. They should do something more with her if they're going to. I don't know what's going on with Queen Zelina. I don't know what's going on with Rhea Ripley. Like, they're on social. Like, Queen Zelina is doing photo shoots like all over the place. I guess she's injured, I guess, or I don't know what the hell's going on. Not injured enough to not do other stuff. And same with Rhea Ripley, who's just like constantly working out or whatever. So now you're left with, we can guess to go get to the next match, which was Alexa Bliss, Dana Brooke, Asuka versus Nikki, Doudrop, and Tamina, which again got turned into like a shit fest. Okay, I will say that Tozawa having a referee under the ring. He comes out from under the ring with a referee that was under the ring with him. Like,
yes.
What were they doing down there? Playing patty cake or something?
That was good. That's the only good thing about it.
That was the only thing good. I was just like, this is awesome. It's like 1, 2, 3, you 24/7, and then you 24/7. And then the guy's like, but by the time you finish saying the title, it's already changed.
Yeah.
I did write it down. So Tozawa won, then Alexa won, then Doudrop won, then Tamina won, then Dana won and ran away.
You missed Nikki ASH rolled up.
Sorry. Nikki. Okay, so wait, where was? Yeah, shit. Okay, how did I miss that?
Then it was Nikki. Then it was Alexa.
Sorry, Nikki. Yeah, Nikki.
Then it was Doudrop. Then it was Tamina. Then it was Dana Brooke.
Yeah. Sorry, it was Nikki. For some reason I wrote that on the other side and not in the order of how it. Yeah, so Nikki, I was like, they should leave Nikki with it.
Yeah, I think Nikki needs the belt or Doudrop. One of the two needs it because they have no relevance otherwise. But
Doudrop fell on Alexa like when she was
splattered on it.
I thought Alexa Bliss died. My wife and I are going out for breakfast. We don't do breakfast because I do my fasting thing. So I never eat breakfast. But we're going out for breakfast tomorrow. It's our vacation. and we're getting waffles, and I thought I was going to be getting an Alexa Bliss waffle because she just like been flattened. I was going to be like, yeah, can I get the Alexa Bliss waffle? What's that? Like literally, I was like, oh my god, Alexa Bliss is dead. She's dead. And then I'm like, oh no, she's fine. I'm like, okay, that was crazy. I thought, yeah, it's done. It's over.
Alexa Bliss is probably like, how do they rehearse that?
I know. That was crazy. That was the only move where I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it was I was like, because I saw Dewdrop coming over and I was like, oh dear God, no. Oh no. Alexa's going to be like a spot in the ring afterwards. She's going to be like just a puddle. Yeah.
Alexa.
We love you, Alexa. Be well.
It's like, all right. She'll be like, remember in Beetlejuice, the guy that was the flat guy who was
yeah, that's exactly what it was. But the one thing I will say is, first of all, Asuka finally got a win with the Asuka lock after like 75 months, because she always locks that in and they always get out of it. And
so she made Nikki tap.
And Asuka, you gotta love her enthusiasm. She's always like enthusiastic about whatever's happening, no matter how stupid it is. And this was stupid.
I'm like, this is like this week was not a great week.
No, this was a terrible week.
The Liv Natty match was like, Lacey Evans, I like seeing Lacey Evans, but she doesn't do anything. Becky, just having Becky is awesome. But I mean, if you're looking for actual wrestling, there was like really nothing of value in the two shows this week at all.
Nope.
Hopefully, well, the way we do the stream, it's not in the week. It's really technically last week and this week. But hopefully this Friday, there's going to be something going on, right? Like, dude.
So I've heard that, not a big shock. The women are frustrated with how they're being used in the WWE. After WrestleMania, they were really watching to see where the chips weigh down, because Charlotte was gone, right? And they were, and then when Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out, it's like, okay, now you can use the Elite, now you can use Shotzi and Elite and all these people who've not been used, and they haven't been used well. In fact, they're saying now that Liv Morgan becoming champion was sort of, and I'm assuming Natalya and Carmella challenging for the titles is sort of the company's way of extending an olive branch to the female wrestlers, because right now you're like using 5 or 6 people and that's it. Yeah, that 24/7 thing, I hate that title. I hate that thing with a passion.
It was a disaster.
It's just stupidity. It's literally like, I don't even know who's the audience for that shit. Like, that's got to be Vince McMahon. Just, it amuses him, so we have to all be subject to it, which is stuff I've heard in the past. It's just bad. It's just not good stuff. I wish they would just turf it. But I've heard the women have been frustrated. Liv becoming champion was them extending an olive branch. I'm assuming Natalya and Carmella competing for the belts is as well. The other thing I've heard, which I want, but not in the way I'm hearing it, is Bayley will be back by SummerSlam, but she'll come back as a face and feud with Becky Lynch. I love Bayley. She's the de facto women's locker room leader. She's one of the best competitors there is or has been in the WWE, but she is done as a face. Her heel gimmick was over like crazy. She is super annoying as a heel. She's like got that ding dong hello thing. She had her own show. She held that belt for a long time as a heel, the championship. She excelled as a face. She was like, I'm a hugger. She had the the little, I don't know what the hell they were, buddy things. They were like inflatable who would come out when she came out. And she was very happy. And I think she lost a lot of room because there's only so far that character will go. When she turned heel, she went to a different level.
Yeah, so I haven't seen much of Bailey, so I don't really know. Like, I don't remember. I've only seen the WrestleMania. I've seen every WrestleMania.
Yeah,
but I don't remember like her specific matches or whatever from any of them.
She had one of the best women's matches I've ever seen with Sasha Banks in NXT. Like, they went and brought them out flowers after that match.
Oh,
it was
awesome.
a 30-minute Iron Woman match. And it was incredible. She is one of the top talents in the WWE. Losing her for the amount of time they did was it was a blow. She was competing against Bianca Belair. She was one of the few people who seemed to at least stand toe-to-toe with Bianca or put up a good match with her. Because Bianca just destroys people mostly. But she does not, that character doesn't work well as a face. She's got to be a heel. Yeah, it's a ripoff. You're right, Double C. And the Hardcore Championship was better, in my opinion. The 24/7 Championship is just, it's garbage.
I mean, you could have it there for jokes, but then you need to have some serious. The problem is that like when you have only joke titles, there's basically there's the SmackDown Women's Champion and the Raw Women's Champion, and that's all there is. And this 24/7 thing is rubbish. It's like, if you don't want to have the tag Women's Champion, can they not bring in like an Intercontinental belt or something for the women? Like, there's nobody fighting for anything, right? Like, why not give something else? Like, do like call it the US Championship or something, Women's US Championship or whatever, and like have a match for that. And you could have a few people. Like, I feel that there's a lot of time wasted on all of these shows on things that are either unfunny or unimportant. And they're unfunny because, Vince thinks it's funny, as you said, so we have to all, think it's funny with them. Or it's things where they're not reading the room and it's like, no one cares about this angle. It's like, nobody cares. And it goes on too long. And you know what? The longer a guy or girl, the longer a competitor speaks during a promo, the more I start to realize, like, you're just saying nothing.
Yeah, it's not that interesting. Becky too, it's funny with her. I always laugh because she's been gone. It feels like she's been gone an eternity, Joe. She's one of my favorite competitors in for female. When she was there with Sasha Banks and they were the two quote unquote mean girls, that was awesome. And that was the best the tag team championship has ever been. And now it's gone. We'll never see it again. They like, Becky Lynch has to be one of the loudest breath takers I've ever heard. Every time she takes a breath, it's like a gasp. And then I'm telling you, like, I'm like, holy crap, she's loud when she takes a breath. But anyhow, she's one of the few who tries to put across a story. A lot of the time the wrestlers come out and they're babbling. Like, the worst was still The Undertaker when he was like, oh, I went out into the desert with the Big Show and blah, blah, blah. And Jericho came out and said that was the most boring 10 minutes. And like, Taker got pissed and the locker room got pissed. But everyone in that audience knew that was freaking rubbish. That was like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah, like, it's like, we know wrestling is scripted. So like, can you write it better? Like, I would literally I would literally make it quicker. I actually do like Becky's talking. She's one of the better ones that I like having her go through. It's like, no, it's my comeback thing. But I don't mind if someone comes out and does a promo, but like having a big setup and Miz TV and all this stuff, it's like, yeah, like, man, I don't care. I gotta say, Roddy Piper is one of my all-time favorites. Even Piper's Pit, or when it's in the ring, I would think those went on too long.
A lot of the talk shows go on too long. The only guy who I think is really good at that right now, yeah, Vince's humor is garbage, man. His sense of humor is garbage.
Michael Bay's humor is ultra garbage. They can team up.
But the only person who I think does a great TV show or talk show segment now is Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has that ability to come out. What you think he's talking in character, but the thing with Kevin Owens is you don't think it's that far from who he actually is, right? Like
I like Kevin Owens a lot. I think he's really funny.
Yes.
Where he's like, oh, it's like I'm over it now or whatever. He's like, actually, I'm not over it. But, I can't remember what he said. He goes, I can't remember. He said something like that, and then he said, actually, I'm not, but whatever.
Yeah. I think Kevin Owens is the only one who can carry a talk show segment now. Miz just, I don't know. I never found a character that interesting. I liked him better when he was teaming with John Morrison in ECW and they had the dirt sheet and segments and all that. But I don't think Miz TV has ever been that interesting. And I really like even Edge, the Cutting Edge. I never found that particularly interesting. Roddy Piper was good. There's not a lot. A lot of it, but like for some reason I really like the Kevin Owens show, like the KO show. For some reason I like that entire thing. I could watch the KO show I can't watch a lot of these things.
Right.
I don't know. Kevin Owens is so funny, and I like him just coming out. And I forget what his shirt said, but it said something about pandas too, and.
Can't argue with a confident man.
I don't know. It's just Kevin Owens is the only one who can pull it off for me. Everyone else is boring. I don't care about a lot of these segments. Contract signings are ridiculous. I don't know why they bother do it because it's just they're going to brawl. Just have a match with them then.
Yeah, like all of this. Yeah, my point is that you remove all of this stuff and have a female match.
Yeah.
Like just do qualifying tournament for a new. You know how they did the SmackDown? Was it SmackDown Women's Champion when Becky won that, where she was the first ever SmackDown Women's Champion or something like that or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. That was one of the highlights on that DVD, and it was like it was like a 6-person elimination or whatever, and then she won. Why don't they do something like that? Like just do like I don't know, like 4 weeks. It's like, and then that leads to a pay-per-view. So it's like you have. Do the U.S. champion, the female United States Women's Champion, and then you just have a match every week, and use like Zia Lee and Aaliyah and Shotzi and like some of these, do an elimination, then someone wins that. It's like there's so many segments like Miz and Logan. I know they're trying to pump up Logan Paul. That's fine. Logan Paul can come out. Yeah, I don't care about Logan Paul, but only because I only know him from that one YouTube thing that he did, which really pissed me off. But, maybe he's come a long way. I don't like cancel culture, and I don't want to say someone can't say they're sorry and redeem themselves and move on from mistakes because that's just I don't like that. I'm okay with someone making a mistake or doing something stupid. Not murdering someone, but being a goof and then realizing they're a goof. So we'll see how it goes with Logan Paul. I'll give him a chance. But I don't care about this segment, right? Like, I liked it better when it was just like just have him on the TV. It's like, okay, Miz, I challenge you. And the Miz could do a quick promo saying, you're not in my league, whatever. And then that's it. Like, why is it like talking? It's like, oh, you have small balls. It's like, okay, I don't care. Like, give me another match. If you don't want to give me a women's match, then give me another male's match.
Yeah, the funny thing is with the male wrestling is there's very little to like interest. Like, I found like Theory, a lot of what he does is okay. And then like this whole thing with Dolph Ziggler just stalking him and sitting at ringside in a suit and super kicking him randomly, I think is kind of funny, actually. I just have no idea what's going on, but I think it's just funny.
I like Theory because he is irritating. But again, it shouldn't be too long. Like, okay, do the Miz and Logan Paul, like, have them meet. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on a second. Okay.
That windup is as long as some of those no.
I can usually tell 5 minutes ahead of the time.
Right.
It's coming. So I mean, just cut it short.
Yeah.
Miz comes out. It's like, you know what, Theory? I'm not gonna accept your challenge because you haven't earned it. You're a rookie in this business.
Yeah.
It's like you did okay because you were my partner. I carried the team, but you on your own, you're just not there yet. So the answer is no. And then Logan Paul comes out. You're a scaredy cat. You're a bitch. You don't want to fight me because your balls are so small. Screw you. They fight each other. They break them up. That's it. That would have been like 3 minutes. This was like forever. Came out and talk and talk and talk. I'm like, I don't care. Like, get to it. Like, what happened to getting shit done? You know, I don't mind the promos. I don't mind Theory coming out and being, you know what? You guys all suck and I'm the best and you know, and Vince McMahon loves me and and then, you know, and then someone interrupts them. Like, give the guy 2 minutes to talk and then someone interrupts them. Like, usually after they say one paragraph, I'm like, oh, here comes the interruption. And I'm like, why is there a second paragraph? Like, this isn't the great American novel. Or you know, this isn't a Stephen King book. Like, you said your thing. I get it. You're better than Logan Paul. I got it. Right? Like.
Right. Yeah. Again, agree, Joe. I don't get it either. I think, and The Miz is basically, does anyone hate The Miz?
No, I don't think so.
I don't hate him. He comes out and he's like mildly irritating, but I loved him on MasterChef.
Yeah, I watched MasterChef Junior, and he was with the little kids, and he was super funny.
Yeah, like,
and then my wife watches MasterChef Junior, and then he was on. I was like, oh, there's that guy from MasterChef, and she's like, oh my god, he was so nice and funny. And I was like, yeah, he's supposed to be a bad guy, but I'm like, he's not even a bad guy, is he? Like, he's kind of a fun bad guy. Like, he's a funny heel.
He's just like, he doesn't have any real, no one really hates him, right? Like, who like, Theory, you could hate that guy because he comes out and he does the selfies and you're like, oh god, someone punched this guy. Like,
I'm good to punch people who do selfies who aren't even in wrestling. So, like, I take photos on my phone because I take photos of stuff I want to, you know. Today I was in Toys R Us and they had a Captain America figure. So I took a picture of it and texted it to my friend and say, hey, I'm in the store right now. Do you need this Captain America figure? He didn't respond to me, so I bought it just in case. The second I got home, he responded to me saying he already had it, which I mean, I walked around like an idiot for like 15 minutes at Toys R Us. No response. I bought it because it was the last one. It looked hard to get. And he's like, no, I was able to find it. The second I got home, he's like, no, I was able to find it. I'm like, great. Now I got to go return it. Anyways, but that aside, I'm like, I take pictures all the time. Why do I need to take a selfie every 5 minutes? So him doing the selfies is super funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like so annoying, right?
Yeah.
And then his face, and he's like, I'm the youngest, whatever. What were you doing when you were my age and all that? You're like, God, this guy's a piece of crap. And you're like, that's a good heel because you just despise him.
Yeah.
But now after a while, I'm like, this guy's cool. Like,
well, it's funny because now he's like, Dolph Ziggler is just attacking him through every match, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. It's just
what is this? Yeah,
ridiculous. But you know, there's something like, I really don't like Omos. And that's because the guy's just 7'3" and he kills people. And I'm like, someone needs to take this guy down.
He's awesome.
Yeah. Like, there's different ways to build a heel, but doing nothing and just saying he's fighting good guys does not make that person a heel.
Yeah, they got to do something with him a little bit.
You know, almost is detestable just because he's so dominant.
Right.
Right. Like, he ragdolled freaking Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is like, he could be 3 of me.
Bobby Lashley's like awesome. I'm telling you, he needs to play one of the superheroes. He needs to play maybe Sentinel or something. Or who did I say he should play from? He should play a character from Image Comics.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. I'm trying to get a picture here to show our buddy here. Hold on, where is it?
but I mean, even Seth freaking Rollins, there was no reason to dislike the guy until he attacked Cody Rhodes while he was.
Right.
Then I'm like, okay, he's doing something, and now he's taking on Riddle, who's a beloved face.
Right.
And he's doing stuff to him. I'm like, okay, you're finally making this guy a heel instead of just a guy who fights villains, but we all want to cheer him because he's cool. He's Seth freaking Rollins.
I like Seth Rollins.
I do too. But it's like that. Like, if you're going to make the person a heel, make us dislike him. Don't make me want to cheer him. That's the entire point. That goes against, then just make him a face.
So you think Logan Paul would be better as a heel then?
Yeah,
just
I do.
His, like,
he's got a face that just screams heel to me. He comes across as cocky. He always did. I'm like, why are they trying to make this guy a face?
Right.
Like Pat McAfee, having him as a pseudo, I don't know, he's a tweener on commentary, like he'll praise heels and stuff.
Right.
But then he's a face if he wrestles. That's okay, because people really like Pat McAfee, and he is the best commentator going right now. It's just, I don't get it. Yeah.
He's
Bobby
awesome,
Lashley's ridiculous.
I wanted to when Joe was saying this, the Paul brothers. Now, is that Logan Paul and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I literally thought it was Peter and David Paul. Because I'm like, oh, the Barbarian brothers. And I'm like, that's David Paul and Peter Paul, I believe. So I was just like, oh my God, not the Barbarian brothers. Are they coming to WWE? They must be like 100 now. But there's a movie. So that's from the Barbarians, which I own on Blu-ray, of course. Duh. They're also in a movie called Double Trouble. And they're also in a movie called Twin Sitters, where they play babysitters. A mutual friend of ours who will remain nameless loves that movie, and he's like, oh, he loves it. And it's not Sean, it's someone else. It's an unlikely person that I've known the longest. The friend of mine that I've known the longest, that I grew up with. He loves that movie, and it's so random.
That works with that person though, because it is so random.
Right. He does like random stuff that's like, why is this so random or whatever?
Like, that person doesn't really care about any movies or anything, but then it'll be like, oh, I love this movie. It's like, okay.
Dude, I'm going to show you the picture from that movie. It's absolutely, I won't show it. I got to find a better, it won't let me do that picture. I'll show you the DVD cover. Oh, nice. Okay. All right. Oh my God, are you ready? You're gonna absolutely die. Oh, dude, you gotta watch it, dude. I have it on Blu-ray. I think it's within reach too. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna show you one of the. This is like, when I show you this picture, you're gonna die. It's called Twin Sitters, so it's twin babies. Look at the tagline. You're never home alone when you're a twin. And it's like the Barbarian brothers. Like, why are they like, look at what they're wearing. This movie is awesome. This is pretty brutal. But like, it's so random. And they've done a few movies, so check them out, the Barbarian Brothers.
My
And
God.
there's Lacey Evans. So.
I won't
Oh
laugh
my
at that.
God! But no, Joe, I'm telling you, buddy, you got to get that one. It's so good.
Ah, you can feel it, dude. You can feel it.
Warrior.
Oh my God!
Oh,
All right, well, we're at the hour mark. Anything else to discuss, just in general? Like, I mean, like not a lot happened this week.
yeah,
I thought the Barbarian Brothers were joining WWE, but no, it's not.
Yeah, that was your face lit up when you thought that was happening.
That was like popcorn. Remember popcorn?
Yeah, popcorn.
What was that you want? You're like, do you want to see popcorn or something? Or what?
No, I'm like, I got popcorn, and you were
Yeah,
all
and I thought, oh my God! I'm like, well, that's a great movie. It's like that's that horror movie, and you're like, no, I have popcorn like to eat. I'm like, oh.
No, it's like, yeah, I said, oh, and they give you a package and you can pour butter on it. And you're like, you're pouring butter on the movie? Why are you?
Yeah, I'm like, what is happening here? I'm like, that's not popcorn. But I got some. Oh, I got Iron Warrior today on Blu-ray, and I got the Northman, which which goes. It's all related. It's all like big beefy wrestling people. That Skarsgård guy could have been a good wrestler.
Yeah, he's tall enough. He's got the build.
Oh, I should watch those.
I've seen those.
Yeah,
I've seen those come up.
Yeah, I liked. A few years ago they did one on Andre the Giant. I don't think it was A&E. It must have been those. It was like a different one on Andre the Giant. That was pretty good. And I've watched Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
I've watched whatever ones I've come across that I've come across. Steve you own a few of those, right?
Yeah, I do. Jake the Snake. I own 2 on the Heart. I own 3 on Ric Flair. I have the Andre Giant.
On Ric Flair? Oh, my wrestling DVDs are in the other room. I thought, is there 3 Ric Flair DVDs?
There's 3. One is him with the Horseman. They talk about the Horseman.
Oh, I don't know if I have that one.
That's a really good one because it talks about all the incarnations of the Horseman.
It feels like I should have that though. But I have the one with the Dusty Rhodes and then the other one where it's just his own DVD.
I got Andre Giant. I got The Last Ride, which is Undertaker.
Yeah. So these are new biographies on them, right? These are brand new.
Yeah.
I should check those out. I wonder if I well, I have A&E. I should. Man, I used I haven't seen any. I don't think I have A&E anymore. I used to have it way back in the day.
Oh yeah,
I don't know if I have it anymore.
I think I have it
online.
I think I have it. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on with. Again, like we watch stuff and we're like. Modern day stuff, I'm like, man, I'm just going to go diving back into the old stuff because that's when the stuff I really enjoyed. Oh, Hidden Treasures. Yes.
Okay, so that they replaced. Okay, so with Rivalries, I should check that. That sounds cool. And HBO, that's the one I saw about Andre 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they did their own last year. I think I may have seen that one too, actually. So
it's like I love the behind the scenes stuff. I always like guys talking about, this guy was working like Jake the Snake. I loved hearing him because he's like, he had to take on they wanted him to do a program with the Ultimate Warrior, and he walked up to the Ultimate Warrior to talk about their program, and the Ultimate Warrior was just like, and then he ran away, and Jake's like, okay.
Ultimate Warrior is weird.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Tomorrow, actually, Air Force One. Looking forward to that. Are you on that one, Steve?
Yeah, I am.
All right. So you'll see both of us tomorrow, hopefully, on Action Elite. And Thursday, Sean and I are going to do our 90s comics stuff. So that's going to be fun. And then Saturday, Phantom Zone, we're going to get everybody in. And let's talk about all this crap. And maybe we'll talk about the Barbarians. If I could see, I don't think I've ever seen Twin Sitters because look at it. But because my buddy hyped it up so much, I'm like, maybe I will watch it. But he hypes up stuff that's really awful just to be, and I like awful movies, so I might watch that. Yeah. All right, guys, one more look at Lacey, and then we're saying goodbye.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.